Hi guys, welcome back to our faculty interview program. And my name is Ted, and I'm one of the volunteers from the Biotechnology Student Society Club. Today we have Professor Rochelle as our special guest, and I'll be asking her a series of a bit personal questions for the program. So let's get started.
Sure.
Hi Professor, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. So my first question is, what courses are you teaching this semester?
So this semester I am teaching BI 304, Environmental Microbiology, BI 308, Systematic Microbiology, BI 207, Project 1, FST 221, Project 1, and PC 124, Physics for Environmental.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a busy semester.
Yeah. So, like from all your classes, what is your favorite course or class to teach and why?
So from the courses that I've taught, I think my favorite is BI 122, Microbiological Techniques, because it's a microbiology course, and I love teaching microbiology, but also it's a foundational course. So it's a second semester course where a lot of students are pretty new to microbiology, so there's a lot of techniques and sort of concepts that they have to learn, and it's 3 days a week, which is great because you're in the lab a lot.
Yeah.
But I love teaching that course, and I think it's important to kind of develop those foundations for all of their future microbiology courses.
I see. Yeah. And so, like, my next question is, how did you know that you wanted to go for teaching, and how did you start your teaching career?
So I didn't know that I wanted to go for teaching. I mean, I did contemplate some years prior about becoming like an elementary school teacher, but I didn't. Teaching wasn't really on my radar. So I had come back to school to change careers, and I took the environmental technology program here at Centennial at Morningside campus. Yeah. So my colleagues now were some of them were my professors. But I really enjoyed the program, and I started tutoring after through the what is now known as CALCS. And then from there I also started teaching, and I realized how much I love tutoring and teaching, and I think that it took a while for it to click as to why I loved it so much, and then I realized that I've always loved school, so now I get to work in a school doing something I love. Yeah. So, and I love learning, and I always say I learn from my students as well. So
That's pretty good. And so the next question is, how would you describe yourself in one word or in one sentence?
So maybe it's weird because I'd say maybe patient from a teaching standpoint, but my kids would probably disagree with me. But yeah,
you're patient, yeah. So, and the other thing is, what is one thing that people usually don't know about you?
Something that people don't know about me. I'm very quiet, and I really don't like the spotlight, so I don't like to be the center of attention. If I were to give like a presentation, I would avoid it at all costs, but I would be really, really nervous. But it's really weird because teaching, I have no issues standing up in front of my class talking to my students.
Yeah.
So outside of teaching, I'm like super shy, really quiet.
Also, you're kind of like introverted person.
I would say I'm pretty introverted.
But in the classroom, you're very engaging. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and I love talking to my students and getting to know them and learning about where they're from, and yeah, so it's weird because outside of teaching, I'm like a completely different person.
Okay, so the next question is, do you procrastinate a lot?
Yes. Yeah, because I can't. I do. I'm a procrastinator by like default, I guess. But I work well under pressure. So although I procrastinate, it builds stress. But then when it's like time to get it done, I just get it done. So it works out, I guess.
And the second question is, did you have a time when you felt like a failure? Or you feel depressed, and if you did, then how did you overcome that feeling?
So I did have a time where I felt like I was failing my students, and it was difficult, but that was COVID. So when we transitioned from teaching in person to teaching online, I found that really difficult for me, and I felt like because it was difficult for me, it was also really difficult for my students. It just, not even because it was difficult for me, but just the general transition, and then it being difficult for me to learn how to teach online versus in person. I felt like because I wasn't good at it, I was like, it wasn't benefiting my students, right? I was kind of failing my students at the same time. So that was really difficult to navigate. And I'm really glad that we're back in person.
And so like during the COVID, so all the lectures turned online, but what about the labs? They are still in person?
So our labs were in person, but okay, at the very beginning of COVID, like March 2020, when like all the cities went into lockdown, our labs for the rest of the semester were online. So that was really difficult because we went from doing stuff in the lab, having plates that we had to observe that we couldn't go in the lab to observe, and we just had to like transition to online. And so that was really difficult. And then for the most part, like everything was back in person. But if there was like a case of COVID, where a student might have come down, contracted COVID and was in a lab, then we would like kind of cancel the lab classes for a week or two, right? So we'd go back online before going back into the lab. So that was really difficult because labs are not, they're not,
should be in person.
they're practical, right? You can't do experiments online, like it's very difficult.
So the next question is, what is your biggest pet peeve as a teacher?
Honestly, cell phones in the labs.
You mean using
see, like I don't like to see cell phones in the labs because it's we're not supposed to do it because it's a biological safety issue, and it also goes against our lab policies and protocols, which means our labs can get shut down if somebody comes in and sees that we're using phones in the lab. But I understand how attached we are to our devices, but it's very difficult, I think, for some students to like leave their lab, leave their phones out of sight, out of mind. So yeah, that's a pet peeve I have.
Yeah, fair enough. And so, the other thing, the next question is, what do you usually do in your free time?
So summer is my season. So I love to be outside soaking up the sun, gardening. I grow a lot of like fruits and vegetables in my backyard, just mostly for fun, but also for benefit of eating them. In the winter months, I don't like winter, so I'm like inside. If I don't have to be outside, I'm inside hibernating, watching TV, like curl up in bed. But summer, you'll find me outside soaking up the sun.
And so do you hang out with your friends or your family, or do you hang out?
Well, I'm kind of, so it's kind of transitional now because my kids are older, so they kind of have their own, I don't want to say own lives. My son's an adult, my daughter is a teenager, so they're usually in their rooms, like AirPods in, right? So like our communication at home is a lot of messaging, right? Which is sad because we're all in the same home. My husband works out of town, so I do hang out with my friends a little bit, but usually when the weather's warmer. But otherwise, it's just me and Netflix, just a lot of shows on Netflix and Prime, and
So this is our last question, and the question is, if you were able to go back to your school days, what is one thing that you will advise your younger self?
I would say to really look at, and it's hard because when I was younger I had no idea what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, but I would say look more at what you really enjoy doing, and go along that path rather than where the demand is in society or where your parents want you to go. Follow your passions, and also do as much education as you can before you get life commitments, right? The responsibilities they start piling on, and the more they pile on, the harder it is to go back and finish your schooling.
That's all about our questions, and thank you so much for giving us the time from your busy schedule. We really appreciate it, and I'm pretty sure that students will be motivated from your advice, and also they'll be feel more familiar to you now.
Yes.
So thank you guys. That's the end of our video today, and please make sure to subscribe our channel and hit the like button for more engaging videos. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.